Welcome back, and right to the breaking news. Michael Flynn, President Trump's former national security advisor, has pled guilty to lying to the FBI multiple times and, more importantly perhaps, is now cooperating with the special counsel leading the Russia probe. Let me go to Laura if I can, because Laura, just now we have new video of Michael Flynn Sr. arriving at the house of his son, Michael Flynn Jr., holding Michael Flynn Sr.'s grandson there as well as it happens. I've been told in recent weeks that Michael Flynn Sr. extremely concerned about the legal jeopardy that his son faced in this, and that was a motivator in a drive to cooperate. You're a former federal prosecutor. Even in Flynn's statement, you noticed today, he said, I did this for my country, but I did it for my family. How influential can that be? Because Michael Flynn Jr. had legal exposure here on all the issues, non-report of foreign income, non-report of acting as a foreign agent. That could be a powerful motivator, can it not?
I mean, you're seeing a photograph of a family moment. I look at that and see bargaining power, bargaining chips, and fodder for plea, and an incentive to do all of those things. And so all the questions that we have unanswered, why did he do it? What do we not know? Who is this senior transition official? Those are all the things that perhaps motivated Mueller and his team to actually have this plea. The only reason that you invest in a plea and hand over the power to someone else to say, you know what, I'm going to allow you to have some impact on your own future is because you have something I don't otherwise have, that I can't otherwise get. And so the answer for question me is, what did Michael Flynn have that nobody else could give Robert Mueller's team? What does Michael Flynn know? What is he willing to give over? And all of those things he probably answered in a proffer before he did a guilty plea today.
Why did the President of the United States go to James Comey and say, would you go easy? Would you go easy on Flynn?
Yeah.
Now, if in fact Flynn lied because he didn't want to tell the whole truth about who was directing him, the question is, as the old Watergate question, which Carl Bernstein knows very well, what did the president know and when did he know
it? And the thing about this plea, the thing about this plea agreement is it goes into details about what happened vis-a-vis these phone calls that he made during the transition. But because Flynn is now cooperating with the prosecutors, he is, kind of expected to open the floodgates about all the other things that he knows. Maybe even, and especially even, things that he knows that the special counsel's office doesn't even know to ask. That is required of him in any kind of agreement like this. Obstruction of justice or anything else.
And he's already done it. Before he signed the plea, he gave that information over. Mueller is not a fool.
He knows it already.
They already know what they want to know, but when we're going to find out is different.
You got to be an open book. You got to be an open book when you're given a proffer. I want to bring back my panel now to discuss all of this. And Laura Coates, if I could go to you, you have the advantage of being a former federal prosecutor. Oftentimes for the layman, it's the lying that folks get caught for, right? Maybe not another bigger or underlying crime. Is that what you're seeing here? You're seeing the special counsel going after the kind of low-hanging legal fruit?
Well, it's low-hanging legal fruit, but what it really is kind of an old adage. I didn't come this far to only come this far. Mueller's team did not come this far only to hang their hat on a lying offense. What that suggests is that they're talking about different fish. This is a baiting sort of charge you would give on somebody in order to acquire a bigger fish. And here's the irony of all this. Normally, somebody who is the national security advisor would be one hell of a Moby Dick. However, in this particular case, his 25-day term downgraded him to somebody who now can be bait for an even bigger fish. And we're wondering who that's going to be.
Who might that bigger fish be?
Well, the senior transition official, we're all kind of wondering what that is, but you can believe that prior to Michael Flynn having that guilty plea in court today, he's already sound like a canary. That's already out there. Mueller's team probably knows who that is, and we're going to wait and try to play catch up on who that's going to be. Remember, his next status hearing is not until February, and the sentencing is after that. This is largely going to probably drag out in the same way that Papadopoulos had his guilty plea, and of course, months went by before people knew about it, number one, and also who he was corresponding with in the interim. I bet he's been cooperating, and we'll see who those bigger fish are going to be, but he's now bait.
David Gregory,
I would say if he's cooperating and they want his cooperation, he knows some things that's going to make a lot of people nervous at the very least. And we know that President Trump asked Jim Comey, the FBI director, before he fired him, hey, go easy on him. Now, why did he do that? There's a lot of why questions that we don't have the benefit of knowing. We're not inside that investigative trail that the special counsel's on. But there's a larger picture here of why were there these contacts? Why weren't they truthful about them? When we know there was an attempt by Russia to influence the election, and why there was all that coziness between transition folks, between campaign folks, and the president himself and the way he spoke about Putin. This is still what we're trying to get to the bottom of, and Flynn can be very important in trying to find out why that is.
Before we go, just final thoughts from both of you, Laura and David. Perhaps, David, if I could begin with you. How big a deal for this president?
Well, among other things, on a day when he's achieving a major legislative victory with this tax bill getting through the Senate, this is the overwhelming story. It's one that has moved the markets because of concern about where it may lead. And it really puts the lie to a president who has been saying that there was nothing to this, that it's all made up by the Democrats. He's got a special prosecutor he's up against who's doing his job pretty methodically and is now really making some headway. And
in the face of repeated attempts by the president to get in the way of this investigation.
Certainly, and everyone should be nervous who are surrounded by the inner circle of Trump, or if you're included in it, because remember, the charge that was pled to today was based on a selective amnesia regarding one person who was a common denominator in all this, Sergei Kislyak. So Jeff Sessions and selective amnesia, perhaps Jared Kushner, anyone else who said, well, maybe I had this, maybe I didn't realize. Well, as of right now, Mueller has drawn a line in the sand and said, based on that amnesia, based on that conduct, that's enough for us to have leverage and to convict.
And Sergei Kislyak, in addition to being an ambassador, we know was reporting back to the Kremlin, as ambassadors do, on matters of intelligence. David Gregory, Laura Coates, Carl Bernstein, thanks very much.